Good evening and welcome to this edition of the Evening News for today, Saturday, October the 7th, 2023. I am Gerald Bryan. Thank you for tuning in. In the headlines, Guyana Canada Chamber critical to fast-tracking development, President Ali. Government to resolve 10,000 pending NIS cases by year-end. Delays in U.S. EXIM bank loan will not affect completion of gas-to-energy project, JAGDEO. Guyana Cancer Foundation renews calls for low-cost radiation therapy. An RDC robbery accused reportedly assault threatened life of man. Now for the news in detail. President Dr. Irfaan Ali has described the 2-year-old Guyana-Canada Chamber of Commerce as a critical component to fast-tracking local development. In our lead story tonight, you will hear that the President urged Canadian and Guyanese companies to partner and ensure the transfer of technology in the process. Here are the details. On Friday evening, President Dr. Irfaan Ali was the recipient of the Visionary Leadership Award from the Guyana-Canada Chamber of Commerce. During the Chamber's Maple Leaf Ball held at the Marriott Hotel, the head of state spoke of the important work the Chamber does and its potential to ensure the networking of companies between the two countries. And with the disparity in technology between Canada and Guyana, President Ali stressed the need for technology transfer.
We have to build products country, island by island, that position the region in its strongest and most competitive environment. That is why this chamber is very critical. Because we have to fast forward. We have to take the rawness of what we have here today, apply the technology and innovation that exists in Canada, bring it together, and work together on developing that competitive product. Every company must be looking for an international partner. And that is the usefulness of these chambers. It allows that smooth connection and networking between companies here and companies in Canada.
The President made reference to artificial intelligence and digitization, noting that companies must get on board if they are to survive.
No company can survive in a business environment in a world 2030 and beyond if we don't understand the role of digitization and what it means for business and transaction. And the government has to drive this change. Change in mindset, change in thinking, change in way of doing things. And some people say, you know, it takes time. But guess what? Look at your own homes. Look at some of our grandparents who never went to school. Give them a smart device, and you're astonished to see what they do on that device.
The Canada-Guyana Chamber of Commerce is a non-partisan institution that promotes investments and trade between Guyana and Canada. Since the establishment of the Chamber in December 2020, significant growth has been recorded in trade between the two countries. Gerald Bryan, The Evening News. The Guyana government has taken proactive measures to resolve 10,000 pending cases within the National Insurance Scheme, NIS, by the end of this year. Find out more in this Pooja Rambaran report.
Currently, there are approximately 10,000 open files at the National Insurance Scheme, dealing with issues ranging from appeals, claims, queries, and investigations. In order to resolve these pending cases, President Dr. Irfaan Ali has instructed that a projectized approach be undertaken to have this done over the coming months.
We're going to develop a special secretariat and a projectized format to bring to an end or to bring to closure, to close these 10,000 files before the end of the year. So we will be back in real time. So the NIS will be working from now to the end of the year to close these files.
Moreover, the head of state noted that some of these pending NIS cases are for persons in the Guyanese diaspora, and so steps will also be taken to address those at an outreach in the United States and Canada next month.
Separate and apart from the nationwide files that we have diaspora files that are open, maybe 300 plus, just about 300 plus. The NIS team in November are going to do what we call a diaspora outreach. They're going to do a diaspora outreach in New York, in Toronto. So what we want is members of the diaspora to send to the diaspora unit in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs their issues in relation to NIS with all their supporting documentation, so that that can be sent to the NIS. Now they can start looking at the issues and advising you as to the status of your claims, your objections, your queries, or your investigation. So I wanted to address this issue because I know this is an issue that we want to fix.
Since taking office in August 2020, the PPPC administration has successfully closed more than 4,000 historical cases, both nationally and in the diaspora, a feat which the head of state said could not have been achieved without the hard work of the NIS staff.
Over the last 3 years, they've been doing a lot of work to bring to closure a lot of these files. You know, most of these persons do not have the relevant records. They have to go back to where they were working. Some of those places are closed down. So there's a lot of work, background work, backroom work that has to be done. But we are committing ourselves to working towards, in a specialized way, in a projectized way, to get this done before the end of the year.
Pooja Brand for the Evening News.
With the Guyana government seeking a $134 billion loan from the United States Export-Import Bank to fund the gas-to-shore project, Vice President Barry JAGDEO said that even if there is a delay in accessing the loan, this would not affect the timeline for the delivery of the facility. Here are the details.
Back in April this year, it was announced that Guyana had applied for the U.S. $646 million loan from the U.S. EXIM Bank to finance the Model Gas-to-Energy project, which includes the construction of an integrated natural gas liquid plant and a 300-megawatt combined cycle power plant at Wales, West Bank, Demerara. While the U.S. EXIM Bank is yet to approve the loan, the Guyana government is confident that this will eventually happen.
And President Ali met with the president of EXIM Bank, and really good discussions. It's moving forward, it's moving apace, because it's a timing issue. When it comes on, it will happen.
Vice President Bart JAGDEO told reporters at a press conference on Thursday that even if there is a delay with the processing of the loan, then it would not affect the 2024 year-end timeline for the gas project. In fact, he explained that there is a retroactive way of financing the project.
If there is need for, we can have bridge financing until that loan comes on stream. And from what I gather, their loan can fund retroactive expenditure. So if you have bridge financing, then you can go back and clear it easily once the loan comes on stream.
This loan application for the Gas-to-Energy initiative comes on the heels of Guyana and the U.S. EXIM Bank signing a U.S. $2 billion MOU in July 2022 to finance infrastructure, energy, telecommunications, water treatment and sanitization, and agriculture projects here. The multi-billion-dollar gas-to-energy project will see gas being piped from the Liza field in the Stabroek block to onshore at Wales via 225 kilometers of pipelines that will be procured, installed, and operated by U.S. oil major ExxonMobil to the tune of US $1 billion. ExxonMobil, as the operator, along with its co-venturers, is currently engaged in exploration and production activities in the oil-rich Stabroek block offshore Guyana. Based on studies conducted, Exxon would be able to produce up to 50 million cubic feet of gas per day for this initiative without impacting oil production activities offshore. Already, the Guyana government has pumped over $40 billion into this project for preparatory works at the site. Reporting for the Evening News, Vanu Manikchand.
In keeping with the People's Progressive Party's civic administration's consultative approach to governance, senior government officials on Friday held a series of budget consultations with several trade unions from across the country. These discussions were led by Prime Minister Brigadier Mark Phillips and Senior Finance Minister Dr. Ashley Singh at the Arthur Chung Conference Center. The consultations allowed for the unions to raise and discuss issues of interest, particularly in relation to the national budget and other matters. The government team also comprised Minister of Parliamentary Affairs Gail Teixeira, Minister of Public Service Sonia Parag, Minister of Health Dr. Frank Anthony, Minister of Education Priya Manikchan, Advisor to the Minister of Public Service Jennifer Westford, Permanent Secretaries of the Ministry of Agriculture and Labour Delma Ned and May Thomas respectively, Director General of the Ministry of Agriculture Madan Lal Ramraj, and Chief Labour Officer Daneshwar Deonarain. The consultation saw participation from unions affiliated with both the Federation of Independent Trade Unions FITUG and the Guyana Trade Union Congress GTUC, as well as the Guyana Public Service Union GPSU. The specific participating unions included the Guyana Agricultural and General Workers Union GAWU, National Association of Agricultural, Commercial and Industrial Employees NACI, Clerical and Commercial Workers Union CCWU, and the Guyana Labor Union GLU, the Guyana Teachers Union GTU, the Guyana Local Government Officers Union GLGOU, and the General Workers Union GWU. Coming up on the other side of the break, Guyana Cancer Foundation renews calls for low-cost radiation therapy. Please stay tuned.
Superbet, your best bet. Did you know that you have a chance to win up to 15 million with sport betting? Simply place your bets at www.superbet.gy for your chance to be the next lucky millionaire. Must be 18 years and older. Terms and conditions apply. Play responsibly.
Welcome back. You are watching the Evening News. Since its inception in 2016, the Guyana Cancer Foundation, led by Bibi Hassan, has been providing assistance to breast, cervical, and prostate cancer patients through donations, medical outreaches, and screening opportunities. On Thursday, Hassan spoke with the Evening News about the foundation's continued efforts and their Breast Cancer Awareness Month activities. The foundation head used the opportunity to issue a call to President Dr. Irfan Ali to establish a low-cost radiation therapy center. Let's have a look.
I'm advocating to you for a low-cost radiation therapy center in Guyana. I've been advocating for this since 2020 because there have many patients come to me and they can't afford to pay for the radiation therapy because radiation therapy cost is like from $550,000 and it goes to like $1.4 million. And if you don't have the money, you will die because you have to, sometimes because of the type of cancer you get and the grade, you have to get radiation. Sometimes you don't have to get radiation. So I'm advocating to the government for a low-cost radiation therapy center in Guyana. You're getting, to do radiation therapy at Cancer Institute, you get it from a subsidy from the government is $200,000 and it's not enough. It's really not enough. I would say that the government should up it to like $500,000 or $600,000, just like what they did for the dialysis patients, because many patients come to me and they can't afford it.
As part of its annual tradition to keep the significance of the date, October the 5th, 1992 alive, the Chedi Jagan Research Center, commonly called Red House, held an event where a number of persons reflected on the importance of this date and why it is synonymous with democracy and fair elections in Guyana. Pooja Rambaran tells us more.
The Chedi Jagan Research Center hosted an evening of reflection on Thursday to mark the anniversary of the October 5, 1992 elections, considered the first free and fair general election in almost 3 decades in Guyana. PPP Executive Member Dr. Frank Anthony delivered an address on behalf of President Dr. Irfan Ali, where he underscored the importance of future generations remembering this date.
This struggle was waged since the loss of power by the PPP in 1964, an act which saw the progressive erosion of the rights of workers, the destruction of the country's economy, the emasculation of the private sector, and the pauperization of its people, and the emergence of an authoritarian state. October the 5th was thus not simply about free and fair elections. It was about rescuing Guyana from the clutches of what had become a police state.
Meanwhile, former President Donald Ramotar recognized former President Cheddi Jagan's role in leading the masses through this journey to free and fair elections.
Had it not been for the struggle of Cheddi Jagan to lead the masses in this country, to keep them united, to work consistently for change, they would not have felt pressured to come along and to take some of the positions that they took. And therefore, I will say, while we must be happy and grateful, we must never, never, ever play down the role of the PPP and the masses of people in this country, particularly sugar workers who stood and faced the brunt of repression in Guyana.
With support from the local and international community, Dr. Anthony explained that the 1992 elections enforced the need for ballots to be counted at the polling stations and for every contesting party to be given a statement of poll. Reading from President Ali's prepared speech, Dr. Anthony further noted that today, the People's Progressive Party has built upon these efforts, and though the party remains wedded to the working class, they are now on a mission to forge alliances with people of all classes. As the country now undergoes rapid development, he added that transformation is being seen in every sector. Pooja Rembrandt for the Evening News.
The three accused in the multi-million-dollar robbery at the Regional Democratic Council, RDC, after being released on bail over the crime, have reportedly assaulted a man and threatened his life, causing him to now live in fear and calling on the police to take more decisive action that can guarantee his safety. Our Barbies correspondent Andrew Carmichael tells us more.
The 26-year-old victim shared his story with the Evening News under the condition of anonymity. He explained that at around 2 hours on Wednesday, he had gone to visit a friend who was working at a hotel in New Amsterdam. Whilst there, he said 3 men and 2 women walked in, all of whom he knows. The 3 men, he said, are the accused in the recent robbery at the Regional Democratic Council building. The accused in the robbery were recently charged and released on $500,000 bail each. The victim related that a few from the group approached him, and from there the situation escalated.
2 came to the front desk where I was, right, where I was talking to my friend, right? So the guy by the name of Damien, right, he turned to me, right, and he said that how he don't want no fancy man around here, right? So me and my friend, right, we told him that I didn't come, this guy here didn't come to you, right? He come to me, and we continue our conversation, right? And then he came up in my face, and he started ranting, right? And then I got upset, and that's when I retaliate. So I told them, I said the time that it takes to study me, right? Study the RDC money that he has stole, right? And me and back and forth.
The victim said that he was punched in the face until he fell to the ground, where he continued to be assaulted.
My friend came and she grabbed him, and then I got to run out, right? In my head, right, I thought I was heading for the station, right? But the direction I was going at was at the prison, right? And when I ran and go to the prison now, right, I started banging on the door. When I looked back, they were driving in a car coming behind me.
In continuing his story, the victim said while at the New Amsterdam prison, an officer informed him that he needed to go to the police station. As he left, the man said he saw the men who had assaulted him coming towards him in a car, and as such he took refuge in the compound of the prison's sports club.
So I rushed in there and I hid, right? And then while the car was passing, I know that they saw when I run in there, right? They slowed down and they said, oh, if I only go to the station, they find me and they shoot me and they're going to kill me.
Despite the threats, he still went to Central Police Station in New Amsterdam, where an officer took a statement and asked him to return the following day. He said even though his face was partly swollen and he was bleeding, the officer did not give him a form to obtain a police medical report from a doctor. In fact, the 26-year-old said he even begged for the police patrol vehicle to take him home, since one of the persons who attacked him and made the threats lives in his community. But the officer reportedly said that there was no vehicle available. Now the young man says he is scared for his life.
Many reasons. Number one, exactly the record that they uphold, right? As a gang, to be specific, right? I'm fearful of that, right? And for them saying that, oh, if I go to the police station, they're gonna kill me and so on. Exactly, you know, I was fearful because we LGBTQ persons, right? The law don't really like focus on us that much, right? We just have fight, you know, for, you know, get through in the system.
Meanwhile, Regional Commander Shiv Prasad Bacchus told the Evening News that the police made checks for the RDC robberies accused in relation to the assault incident. However, they have not been located. Those who were charged for the $40 million robbery at the RDC are O'Neill Lampkin, a 32-year-old construction worker of Sri Lanka East Kanji, Berbice, Damian Morgan, a 25-year-old of Fort Ordnance East Kanji, Berbice, and Shaquille Grant, a 27-year-old businessman of Asylum Street, New Amsterdam, Berbice. For the Evening News, Andrew Carmichael.
And now for a look at the bridge reports.
The Demerara Harbour Bridge will be closed to vehicular traffic on Sunday, October 8, 2023 at 13 hours 30 for a period of 45 minutes. Meanwhile, the Berbice River Bridge is expected to be closed at 12 hours 45 on Sunday, October 8, 2023 for a period of 1.5 hours.
West Indies women confident ahead of Australia ODI series. This and more coming up in the Sportscast sponsored by McCorp.
Looking to bring your dream home to reality? Or simply taking on a home improvement project? Then National Hardware Limited is where you should start. Let us put that touch to your home. Choose from over 1,000 Berger Paint original hues for any surface. We are known for our trusted brands such as Westinghouse, Philips, Sadco, Rubbermaid, Pyrex, Gibson Home, and so much more. National Hardware Limited, your do-it-best store. Located in downtown Georgetown and industrial site Rhymeville.